CRUD and REST are used when accessing databases over a network or the internet. So they're used to ensure basically the data is stored, managed, and represented correctly in the database. So let's start with CRUD. So there's four main processes which are required with all databases. So if you had to split them into just four, this is why it's known as CRUD, because there's a direct link between CRUD and SQL. So SQL you should know a bit about by now. So if you think of CRUD, you've got create, the four main things you want to do with a database. You might want to create something new, retrieve something, update something, or delete something. Well, the SQL equivalent to that is create links straight to insert, retrieve is select. You remember your select statement, select from where. Updates just update, and deletes delete. So that's where CRUD comes from. So they're the four main operations. So then REST is the relationship between CRUD, the four things you want to do, and how you do it over HTTP. So REST stands for representational state transfer. And it uses HTTP to carry out these operations, because the amount of websites now that have databases behind them, you need to be able to manage a database over the internet. Through every time you add something to Facebook, you're updating your database entries on Facebook's database. So if you think of those four options we've got again in CRUD, in REST we've got create would link to post, retrieve would link to get, update would link to put, and delete would link to delete. So if you think of a language like PHP, these, if you've done any, these will be really obvious to you, because if you're creating something in the database, you would use a post command. If you're trying to retrieve something, you'd use get. Trying to update something, you'd probably use put. And if you want to delete something, you'd use delete. So they're just two things that it's worth you knowing about.